We are live from the CNET studios in San Francisco, California. It's the Byte Extra Crunchy Podcast with your host, Mr. Brian Tong.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the big show. I'm adjusting my chair as we speak, just so that my hair can be appropriately framed in the camera. Because when we do this live show, extra crunchy, extra munch, all that, we obviously stream it live on YouTube on live stream. We got my friends from Periscope watching. Maybe I don't know if we should do Facebook Live. I don't know if it would make sense.
I don't know. I don't think it would work.
Right?
Like, we have to have an input into a phone, or we could
just put another phone. I just put another phone here because
yeah.
I have my own phone. We just put another phone.
Yeah.
We might do that if you guys really want that, but we don't want to, this is for the diehards. This is for the people that are legit. They want to know what's going on with the world of Apple. We start off here. This is episode 34. We're making it. We're making it, Beach.
Oh, yeah. It's almost been a year, actually.
Are you serious?
I think we started we started last July or something.
That makes me feel old. Extra crunchy here. We also want to let you know this show is all about you. It's not all about us. 1-800-616-2638 is the phone number to call. That's where you leave your name, number, message, and your comments. We love what you guys have been doing. I think typically the calls, and it's blinging on there. Typically we get calls around the time when big stuff happens with Apple.
Yes.
We get good calls when big stuff happens.
Yeah.
Just because that's what everyone wants to talk about. So we're going to start things off. There is plenty of news and updates and rumors and everything that you guys know and love. First of all, though, to catch you up to speed, Apple reported their earnings a few days ago, and it wasn't good. It was really, quite honestly, shocking. It was their first year-over-year revenue decline, the first since 2003. And just to put that in perspective of where Apple was back then, Apple announced that iPod for Windows would get iTunes in 2003. That's how long ago that was, okay?
Wow.
Since then, Apple has been in an uptick on every quarter. So we're talking about 4 times a year they report their quarterly earnings, They've been up every time until now, 2016 Q1. Apple's Apple's revenue, $50.6 billion, profit of $10.5 billion. That is down from a year ago where the numbers were at $58 billion and $13.6. Who were the culprits that really hurt them? Quite honestly, it was everyone. iPhone sales, actual units, were down 10 million. Mac sales were down 500,000. iPad sales were down, if I recall right, around 2.3 million. And all these are not, not talking about dollars. We're talking about units here.
Oh, okay.
So everything, 10 million units.
I was going to say, that doesn't seem
that's
big,
not big at all. But
units,
we're talking about units here.
Multiply those unit numbers by $800 a piece.
Hence the drop in revenue. So, you look at this, and I just want to address all the haters right now, looking at you, that continue to get mad and say, you hate Apple? Why do you talk bad about Apple, when we're just merely stating the facts of the situation that's going on? And this is the first time that you're actually finally seeing some of those effects of the ability of Apple just kind of extending their products but not coming out with anything new, aka Amazon Echo, aka VR, aka Smart Car, aka what else? Who knows?
Apple Watch.
Yeah, actual Apple Watch, like an actual Apple Watch, and we'll talk about that more. So during their earnings, Apple wanted to put kind of their own take on it, just to encourage investors of where there might be more momentum. Oh, let's just talk about, what also, quick thing, iPad Pro, right? If that iPad Pro really made a difference, you would have seen that in the earnings. They were still down 500,000 iPad units. Apple says demand for the iPhone SE, our favorite phone, the 5-inch phone with a iPhone 5S and 6S parts and technology inside. They said the demand is very strong and it's exceeding available supply. That just might be because they forecasted lower numbers. I think that next quarter, depending on what happens with the iPhone, I've got to imagine it's going to be flat, if not negative. But if it is a little higher, we can probably attribute that to the improvement of the iPhone SE's sales being better than expected, but I don't think it's going to be anything monstrous. Monstrous stuff is going to come out when the iPhone 7, when that releases, then all those upgraders, that's when we're going to see big numbers. So, and to Apple's credit, it's not that the market is even strong globally. The market, smartphone shipments in general, has fallen 3% annually. Also, Apple's individual global market share has fallen. At least a year ago, it was at 16. I believe it was at 16.3. Let me just look at these numbers real quick. Yes, 16.3% global market share last year. Now it's at 15.3. Samsung is still the leader. They've pretty much held tight at 24%. But what we have is competition from China, Huawei, Oppo, all these other smaller phones, and it's a market that Apple is really trying to target. That is where Apple is losing market share, and as well as the smartphone market in general, not only flattening out, but declining as well.
I also think a lot of people are tired of the, upgrade every year plan. It's like it's expensive to upgrade, so why buy a new phone every year? They're probably just going to try to hang on to their phones a little longer than usual. That could have a lot to play in this.
You're also right, because the phones market is so mature now. Really, I feel like what we're getting is 1 year we'll always get a faster processor, so forget that.
Yeah.
But 1 year it's a better camera and maybe an extra feature, and then the other year is an all-new redesign. Yeah. That's what we're getting at now. The point where it's just not the technology and what these things can do has really slowed down, and
it's definitely reached a plateau.
Right?
It's like where do we go next?
What are we gonna do next? When are we gonna be able to fold our phone? Because I need a foldable. I really need a foldable phone.
Yeah.
Right. It's been like it has in general. It has been slower, but now there's not that. I don't think there's that extreme like lust of before when new ones came out. I had to get the newest phone.
Yes, it was like
I really
gotta
had
get it.
to.
I have to get it now. It's like, well, my phone still is pretty kick-ass, so
Yeah.
I can wait a couple years.
I mean, the bloodlust was high for a while, but I think it's cooled off a little. I'm just curious what other people think. If you guys want to call us, 1-800-616-2638. Where are you, and where are your thoughts in regards to just, are you as hyped up about phone releases every year, or have you kind of lost some of that? Have you lost some of that mojo?
Shamar Iverson in YouTube is saying, back to flip phones, everybody.
Back to back. I got the flip phone in me going back to back. All right, we do also want to address this. The earnings were so bad that the next day there was a dead body found on Apple's campus. No, I'm not. I can only say that and make light of it, but really be serious about it because I can explain myself. It's actually it's a bad joke. It's not good. But really what happened here, just to address this, an employee was found dead in a company conference room the day after Apple's earnings.
Yeah, they don't have much details about it. They said he was a young man too. So it's kind of out of nowhere.
And again, this guy has family, this guy has friends. We don't know what was actually going on with him. Maybe, there could be mental health issues as well. We just don't know. But it happened just right after earnings. It was like, oh my gosh, could you get any more bad news going on over there?
Yes.
Can someone stop that right now?
You could speculate as to he was a little bummed out.
Yeah, he might have been. There were a lot of rumors flying around of how or what might have happened in that conference room, but we're just going to wait. They're doing an autopsy on it. We're not going to focus on it too much, but it is something that happened, and you're not going to just ignore, if this is a show about Apple News and someone died on their campus and potentially committed suicide, well, probably going to mention it.
Do you want to hear the Mercury News dispatch audio from the call to the police?
Is it interesting enough to listen to?
It could be. It could be compelling. Let's hear it.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to...
Information for all units. Westside's working a detailed Charles 4B at Apple Campus Infinite for a 1056 attempt. The HMA bleeding with a head wound from the head, possibly has a gun.
Wow.
Okay.
That does not sound like the reports we've been hearing at all.
Bleeding from a head wound and possibly had a gun. That was what the call
initial
was.
Reports. So we have no idea what's going on. Wow.
We'll see. We'll find out.
We'll find out more.
We'll find out. As we transition from that, the question really about where is Apple going, and we've talked about this in our prediction show, is what can they really do to stir things up? What can they do to really turn this train around, turn this in the right direction? The iPhone 7 Plus design drawings reportedly have been leaked out by MacFan magazine, and these in the past they have actually leaked out other schematics that turned to be pretty accurate. But this is the iPhone 7 design, and it still looks pretty much exactly like an iPhone 6S, other than they're removing some of the antenna lines. The thickness of the phone and the dimensions are exactly the same as the iPhone 6S. The main differences that are going to be seen here, at least based on these drawings, and they do support the rumors, but the schematics are pretty right on the money. This is going to be the iPhone 7 Pro, not to be confused with the iPhone 7 or the iPhone 7 Plus. There's going to be a larger, potentially rumored dual lens camera on this Pro version of the phone. So think of this as like the flagship of the phones. There is space on the schematics for that. The most interesting thing to me is there is a smart connector on the bottom, and what that is sorry, let me rewind a little bit. There is no headphone jack, just a lightning port, like we've talked about.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's there on these schematics. The other thing is the smart connector. For those of you who are familiar with the iPad Pro, it's these 3 little dots that allow you to connect their keyboard case. This iPhone on the schematics show that it also has a smart connector on the bottom of the phone. But what I thought this could really be interesting for is that this provides data. It also provides power. So you think about those battery charging cases that typically have to kind of create this big fat chin on the bottom of your phone so that it goes into the lightning port to do the power transfer. This could all be done now. The smart connectors on the rear base of the phone. It could actually make some of these battery cases a lot slimmer. Sorry, slim.
And that's a good thing.
So that's interesting. Some people are saying, oh, you could dock a keyboard case to it. I guess you could do some keyboard type accessory. But this phone, people are asking about on Periscope, OLED display. No, that is supposed to be coming sometime in 2017 or 2018. People asking about the all-glass body phone. That is still rumored for the next generation and not for the iPhone 7. So if you want that, don't. I wouldn't cross your. I wouldn't hope for that. Don't cross your fingers real hard if you expect that to happen, because I don't.
I don't want all glass body. Thank you.
I don't either. I don't. All right, next up, the Apple Watch. Can this guy help turn this ship around? I meant to say ship. I think I said train earlier. I meant ship. Ship or boat. People are like, oh.
Difficult to turn a train around.
I mean, I've seen it done in movies. Spider-Man stopped a train with his feet.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that train movie with Chris Evans that was based off the Korean director's movie? Oh, what was it called?
With Denzel Washington?
No. That train movie with Denzel Washington was like the airplane movie with Denzel Washington.
That's right.
I forgot. Someone's going to tell me. Snowpiercer? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Snowpiercer. I think it's someone threw that up there for me on the scopes. But anyways, back to the stories. Apple Watch. A report here says from the Wall Street Journal that the faster Apple Watch 2 may feature built-in cellular connectivity as well as a faster processor.
There you go.
Boom. Okay. Earlier reports said that the Apple Watch might be really more like an Apple Watch S cycle. And so if that's the case, all these rumors about maybe a FaceTime camera and Wi-Fi and all that, if it's cellular connectivity and a faster processor, that might be the Apple Watch 2 or the Apple Watch S.
That's what people have been wanting. You know, something that you don't have to have your phone on you.
If you want to pay you will have to pay double the data.
Yeah, you'll have to pay double the data probably. Or they'll make like some like tiered pricing, or if you have an Apple Watch, it's $5 extra or something. I have a feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you could just get just Apple Watch LTE would be cool. Just Apple Watch LTE would be nice. So who knows what they're gonna do?
I actually don't care about the LTE aspect. My 3 things that I really want on this watch are Wi-Fi, so that it can just connect directly to Wi-Fi. And we're around Wi-Fi that we can get access to, I would say, arguably 60% of the time.
Yeah, a lot of time.
Okay,
yeah.
so I want the watch to have that. It just has to piggyback back off the fact that the phone is connected to Wi-Fi and sync up that way. Okay, that would be number 1, and then be independent of the phone. Number 2, I want apps that I actually are so compelling that I'm like, I actually need to use this. And 3, I've said this before, I want it to have a feature that no other watch has that makes it cool, that makes it quirky, and it doesn't mean it's necessary. I want them to make it a Dick Tracy watch. I want a FaceTime camera and be able to use my watch like that.
Hell yeah.
If it's the first watch that could actually do that, You might use it once a month, but damn, that's cool.
I'd probably use it more
I'd
than
use it
once
more.
a month. My family FaceTimes me all the time.
Yeah,
so.
and I FaceTime my lady, I FaceTime my nieces and nephews, my mom
You'd
and
be
dad,
like,
my
"Hey,
brother.
baby,
I mean,
what's up?"
who wouldn't want to do that just for fun? That is one of those things that would just be like, and no watch is doing that yet.
Yeah.
So just do it. Make it happen. Make it happen. So that's what I want to watch. But in case you're kind of worried about, where are these watches going, right? Where's the watch market going? Strategy Analytics just posted a report that says the Apple Watch has slipped down to 52% of global market share for smartwatches in the first quarter of 2016. Now, last quarter, it was at, let me look at this really quickly. It was at 63%. And this quarter, it is now at 52%. The disconcerting part about this is that actual overall global smartwatch shipments have grown 223%. So that means that Apple's market share, while the general market has increased, has actually decreased. Of course, we have competition from like Android watches and Tizen watches, and people are kind of getting a little smart. You would think that if the Apple Watch was a hit, that as the market share grew globally, Apple's market share would grow as well. You would think,
No.
but that hasn't been the case.
No.
That hasn't been the case.
You just can't get a foothold yet.
So it's one of those things that if you ask the question, okay, if the Apple Watch is going to do it, are they going to help turn things around for Apple? I don't think so, not yet at least, unless they put FaceTime on that watch. Give me Apple Watch with FaceTime. That's dope. People that know what that is reference. People that know.
They know.
They know now. Also, Apple just released a bevy of updates overall. Safari's Technology Preview 3. This is their browser that has kind of hooks in it for developers and whatnot to do different things. They've released an update to that. iOS 9.3.2 public beta. 3 is out. OS 10. 10.11.5 dev beta is out. These are all out for their devices. Nothing kind of major, just a lot of tweaks. But the biggest thing that we talked about a little earlier is just they're bringing back low power mode and night shift being able to be used simultaneously.
Yeah, I need that sooner than later, Apple.
Get on it. What WWDC is in June, so you'll actually see the beta.
I have to suffer for another 2 months.
You'll get an update before WWDC, and then they'll show you the new version of they'll go off with iOS 10.4.
Okay.
Or iOS 11.
11.
Yeah, it would be iOS 11.
Mine goes to 11.
It would go to 11. And other cool news, just in general for Apple, they showed off their CareKit platform. This is really a little different than HealthKit and ResearchKit. What makes this different is that it allows you, the user, to plug in and pretty much log some of your symptoms, depending on your health, related to different apps so that it can be logged and then shared with your health provider. It's kind of a day-by-day thing that you can do because you're the one that would actually need to be committed to it. So there's 4 CareKit apps that are available as of today. Glow Nurture, pregnancy tracker, doesn't affect me, but might affect me in the future.
It will.
Glow Baby, once the baby's born, it does everything from feed schedules to growth charts. These are both free apps. OneDrop is a diabetes management app that provides one-touch logging of your glucose, your food, meds, and activity. And then Start is a depression management app, provides testing and progress tracking to help determine the effect of medications if you're suffering from depression. And then by pumping this data in from yourself, this will give medical professionals more information they need to either see if these treatments are helping you. So I think this is actually using our phone as a middleman between us and our doctors and healthcare providers. It's not the sexiest thing, but it's actually really cool.
It's happening though. I mean,
Yeah.
like we already do it. We have this app that we use here at CBS Interactive that tracks our exercise and our eating habits or sleeping habits. It does all that stuff, and you can get points and win stuff. So it's happening everywhere. It's pretty cool.
So for those of you who don't know what Steven's like really referring to is like this app that is plugged into like these benefits,
Yes.
health benefits. And basically CBS just is trying to encourage you to not only use the app to earn these points that are then can help you get a discount on your healthcare coverage.
Yeah.
But it's basically like, you guys should be healthier because we don't want you to die.
And we don't want to have to pay a
we don't want
fortune
to
in
pay.
your health
We don't want to pay
coverage.
for you to die. That's basically what it comes down to.
So we want to know if you're exercising. We want to know what you're eating when
I
you're
don't-
sleeping.
My phone is plugged into the Periscope, but I don't remember what even the app was called, but I have it.
Oh yeah, it's called. I'll tell you real quick.
You gonna find it for me?
I use it actually.
You do?
Virgin Pulse. Yeah, the Virgin Pulse app.
Virgin Pulse app.
Yeah, and it's actually Virgin, like the company. Like Virgin Air and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like
they
that.
have like a health. Their
Yeah,
health,
they
their
have
health
like
wing.
some sort of health thing, and it's tied to my my Moves app, which counts all my steps.
Okay, so it links
that's
to your
counting my
step.
steps and
Yeah.
my exercise, and then that syncs with that. It's all so complicated.
It is complicated. CareKit though, I think they're a little late to the game. I don't know if any of you remember, but there was this actual real clever app that you could check daily called PMS Buddy. I recommend it for guys to track the cycle of their ladies just in case it.
So you know
That's-
when to hide and you
Dude.
just run away.
I'm serious about that too. I'm not even offending my babe, but like it can come in handy when you need to just like kind of lay low a little bit.
You're like
like-
walking home, you get a notification. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
I'm gonna
you're within
go-
that 3 or 4 day range.
I'm gonna go to the grocery store
Yeah.
and make sure I get
You don't-
chocolates and everything we
I don't even need to get anything for her. I just need to stay out of her way. Right? That's what it comes down to.
Well, that's part of it. Going to the grocery store, hiding in the grocery store for an hour.
It encourages to clean up around the apartment. So it's like, oh, he's doing stuff. Okay, cool. I ain't gonna get mad at
They
him.
need one for guys too, because guys get PMS too, man.
Monthly? There's male PMS, but I don't know if there's a way to track that. There is male PMS.
Oh yeah. We're both all silent.
Awkward silence. All right. Apple car news. Apple appears to be prototyping car parts at its product realization lab. This is where they've really done concepts or actual physical, models or form factors for things like the Macs, iPhones, other Apple products. But reports are saying that they're doing this now in their own actual lab for car parts. They've also hired new engineers from Tesla and Andretti Autosport to kind of push forward with this whole new car initiative. And also the other kind of thing that is a companion with this, and we talk about how hard it is to really make a car, and Steven can expand on this in a sec, it's that Handelsblatt reported that Apple's been looking for a partner to build this car for them. Okay, They've been looking. They've been talking to Daimler, which is Mercedes manufacturers Mercedes-Benz. They've talked to BMW, which is obviously BMWs, but both of those manufacturers have ruled out and have shut down talks of talking with Apple to build Apple's idea of their iCar or their Apple car. And one of the debates is really, A, who is going to lead the development of this car? We know Apple is a control freak, so obviously they'd want to be like, yeah, we're going to do it.
Yes.
And Daimler and BMW don't want to just be the manufacturing, itches to it. They don't want to be. They don't want to be their itch.
I'm frantically looking for the story because Roadshow has a story about who they have tentatively partnered with. Do you have that?
Was it
information?
Magna International?
That's right. That's correct. Yes.
Canadian, Austrian based car manufacturer. They've been talking to them as well, and but the big boys are like, not only do we not know who's going to take the lead in this project, there's also a debate between Apple wanting to who gets to keep the customer data, right? Apple wants to plug this into their iCloud data system, right? Get information on not only driving behaviors, what they're using, what they're doing. Well, Daimler and BMW, they want that same information. Will it be shared? Who stores it where? How does one get it, right? So that becomes an ugly mess.
Yeah, totally.
And so they have decided to, not do it.
So.
Which, again, kind of reinforces our talks earlier of like, it's really hard to make a car.
Yeah, it's very hard. And I did a recorded autocomplete today with Brian Cooley, and there was another story that Apple is secretly operating a lab in Germany right now, and they hired like 600 German auto makers, to work on this thing. And Brian Cooley's kind of speculating like he doesn't think it's going to happen. I mean, it's easy for Apple. They can afford this. They can hire 600 guys and have them work in a lab and, spend some money. It's possible. But at the same time, like Wall Street is saying, why is Apple going to do this when their profit margins are so high for like the iPhone and other things like that? Like they just make enormous profits off these things. And then if they get into the car business, their profit margins are going to be extremely slim. It's so risky for them to do this. Like, why would they do it? Like, they'd just be crazy to do it, right? but we keep seeing all this news. They're hiring the Tesla guy. They got the secret lab in Germany, hired like 600 people. So, you know, it's still so up in the air, but everything seems like it's heading in the direction of an Apple car right now.
It's counterintuitive to what they've been, and that's why this is a different company, right?
Yes.
They're doing things that they would not have normally done in the past. Quite honestly, they need products now, but it's a little late. That's going to turn things around for them financially. I told you, if they don't get this TV streaming deal done by the end of the year, it's a huge fail for them.
Big time.
That's a potential big revenue stream for them that they're still not tapping into, and we're close to halfway into 2016. iPhones are pretty much flattening out now. iPads are negative. Macs are a little negative, but I think they'll get a boost with the new MacBook Pros. But look, what exciting product does Apple have that's going to turn their financial reports around? There's really not much.
The Apple Pencil. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
And so a car, right? Margins on, I think
a car,
profit margins, are they like around like 10%, if that?
Yeah, I mean,
they're really slim.
A lot
I think
of those companies, they lose money, and that's why they make a new model every single year, it seems, or even multiple models. But it's just such a hard thing to get into, and like Apple would just be taking a huge risk doing that.
I would just encourage people to test drive a Tesla and then tell me how some company is going to be able to leapfrog that in the next 5 years.
Yeah, but even Tesla's having problems. They're having recalls. There's like all kinds of issues. I mean, they're a new car maker as well, you know, and they're building cars that are cool looking and they have great ideas, but they're still not the greatest, most functional cars, you know. Like windshields, there's windshield problems, seat problems, all kinds of little things you won't even think about until you get thousands of people on the road driving them. Yeah. And then you start to figure out what's wrong, you know.
This ain't easy.
It's not easy.
This ain't life ain't easy. It just ain't easy. All right, as we move over from Apple Car, just kind of an update on the FBI and the Apple happenings. We've talked about the FBI was able to unlock some of the phones in the past, on their own terms, and it has just been made official from the FBI that they will be keeping their Apple iPhone hack secret. And the reason being is that the FBI actually paid a company, right, to hack into this actual phone for them, and then they're going to be using, I guess, the similar method with the New York drug case that follows up after the terrorist case from San Bernardino. They pay more than $1.3 million for this method, but they say that they didn't purchase the actual rights to the technical details, and therefore they don't have the correct information to actually get this looked at and also pretty much deconstructed, because there's this process that you submit to the U.S. government. It's called the Vulnerabilities Equities Process. And from there, the FBI assesses, okay, is this vulnerability important enough for us to alert the company, this company being Apple, and tell them you need to fix this, right?
Yeah.
This is a way that someone can get into your product, your hardware, your software. But because the FBI says they don't have it, they're not able to submit this, and Apple won't find out about it. So that's what it comes down to.
Unless they pay the firm that unlocked it, right?
Well, yes, they paid the firm that unlocked it.
No, but Apple, if Apple paid the firm and
Yes.
said, show us how you did this,
Yes.
that's probably the only way.
So it would basically be a private transaction. It wouldn't be an out in the open kind of public transaction. It would be private.
It's all behind closed doors.
Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody.
That's how you get in the phone.
Just transitioning kind of some fun, cool stuff. So anyways, that situation is pretty much dead, squashed. We're not going to see it anytime soon. Apple getting the ability to figure out how do they actually get in our phones. But I've got to imagine over time it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be, it'll be revealed. They'll figure it out. But for now, it's still a secret. All right. This is a little different, completely out of left field, but come on. If you all saw the Deadpool movie, I don't know how many of you did. Some of you kiddies should not see that movie. Did you see it yet?
I haven't seen it. So
some of you I won't spoil it. Some of you kiddies like Stephen Beacham should not see it. But it's gory. There's blood and brains. But in a fun way, we've seen how they've had this like really super clever marketing campaign, and they've done things like a billboard with emojis that was a skull and a poop and the letter L. So if you actually read it together, it would be Dead Poo L. So Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
really cool. I have a shirt that has that on it, just for the record, because I like T-shirts that are cool. So they're doing their fun marketing campaign with iTunes. They're releasing the movie digitally 2 weeks before the actual Blu-ray release, and so Deadpool is now like in the actual promo marketing for things like the X-Men, for things like Taken. He's in the artwork that you would find on the iTunes store in their banner ads. Super funny, but it's just their way to promote Deadpool, the actual movie, being available on digital.
Ooh, this is my favorite.
Say anything. It's awesome. It's super cool. So you guys should just go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Hopefully it does pop up once in a while. And then finally, Tim Cook, Mr. CEO, he has this thing that he's done for the past 4 years. It's called the Charitybuzz Lunch with Tim Cook. Again, 4th year in a row, it's an auction. And basically, if you want to spend time and pick his brain or talk to him about why Apple's revenue is lower than it ever has declined. I'm not saying lower than it's ever been, but why the revenue is going down. He is available in parallel to Apple's earnings reports. Tim Cook's this auction to go spend an hour with him at lunch has actually declined over the past 3 years. So when it originally was out 4 years ago, it was like the lunch with him for an hour sold for $600,000.
Oh.
Then it went to $330,000.
Oh.
Then it went to $200,000. And then right now I think it's somewhere around like $210,000.
Wow.
So
that's an expensive lunch.
Dude, what is he going to tell you? Nothing.
Nothing.
Tim, tell me.
I mean, you can maybe pitch him ideas and be like,
and he's going to say,
give me some rev share here or something.
No, he's going to take your idea because you're going to sign a contract, sign a piece of paper, and then he's going to be like, thanks, that's what I needed. He's not going to tell you anything. In fact, he'll probably like spend the first 20 minutes asking about you, and you'll be like so excited that you want to, oh, Tim Cook's talking to me about me. He cares about me. By the time you start talking about Apple stuff, the lunch is over.
He's gonna be like, sorry, we can't talk about
Half
that.
of the time he's gonna be chewing, so like he's gonna be totally milking it, right? Like, oh yeah, you know, he's gonna take a sip of his water. He's going,
this is really good apple water.
really milk that lunch out.
It's a good apple burrito.
Anyways, $200K. I predict because of how it's been decreasing each year that in like 10 more years he'll have to pay us to get lunch with him. That's if he's still CEO.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Minimum next bid, $115,000, everybody. Jump on that.
Get on it. All right, do you want to take the phone calls today?
Yeah, let's do some phone calls. We got a couple phone calls today.
Remember, guys and gals, 1-800-616-2638. That's how you be a part of the show. Welcome to the party. Be part of Apple Byte Nation. We love it.
Welcome to the party. First call, Brooks in my native land, Texas. Here's Mr. Brooks.
Hey, this is Brooks. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I would just like to say, what are your thoughts on the Thunderbolt displays that they sell? Do you think they're ever going to upgrade them? Do you think they're going to eventually make them into 5K screens so you can hook up your MacBook Pro to a Thunderbolt display? Do you think they're going to update it? Thanks. Love the show. Bye.
Oh, sorry.
To be honest with you, I actually don't know, and I'm leaning towards them probably not updating them. But if we do see anything, it will be at WWDC. That's typically when they've put some of the more big bar hardware. We don't see any keynotes that are specifically for just a Mac Pro, so it might be thrown in there at WWDC. We know that MacBook Pros will be making an appearance, and they support Thunderbolt. The fact of the matter is you can find 5K displays that work with your Mac today that are third-party displays already.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I would have thought they would have put out something within the past year or two. They still haven't. My hunch is that I know the iMac has a 5K screen in it, but it clearly doesn't seem like they really care or they're looking to pursue that. And with their focus on so many other products,
yeah,
I could be wrong, but I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I think all you have to do is just go third party now.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's last on their list.
I feel like it's been 3 or 4 years since their last display, quite honestly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's been a long time.
Okay, next call is from Mr. Jordan Richards.
Jordan.
Hi, Brian. Hey, Stephen. It's Jordan Richards T from Adelaide, Australia. I'm just wondering, since Apple released the MacBook last year and again updated it this year, I'm wondering if you think at all Apple will be changing all of their ports on all their Macs, their iPhones, iPads, etc. to USB-C. So yeah, thanks. Love the show. Keep on Apple biting.
USB-C.
USB-C, so we know that the latest 12-inch MacBook has only one single port. It's probably the biggest drawback of that because it only has one single port. I would be really surprised if they took the Pro line and put one single port on it. If you're just asking specifically about USB-C, they will have a USB-C port in there, but I've got to imagine they've got to keep other ports on there. It doesn't make sense for them to just completely take it all away.
Yeah, it would be way less pro if you don't have USB-C on there, I believe.
Yeah, so I think they would I think they've got to do a combination of ports, and it won't just be USB-C on that machine. We will find out in June. I mean, they decided to be bold with that MacBook 12-inch design, but then that 12-inch design has been around for about a year. I feel like that's the one that they're trying to be the most minimalist. It doesn't serve them well for their customer base to now make a pro computer a minimalist computer. That's all.
And that's it for today.
That's all for today, folks.
That's it.
That's good. So, just again, thanks so much for hanging out with us. This is Apple Byte Extra Crunchy every week. More munch, more crunch. Episode 34 is in the can, and we will be back here next week talking to you live or, in audio format. And are you going to be here next week, Steven?
I'll be here.
I think
with
I'll be
bells
here.
on.
Yeah, I'll be here too, man.
Yeah. What is next week? Is there anything special happening?
Our
No.
show.
Our show is special. Cool.
All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much for listening. Peace.